Ahoy, everybody, and welcome back to another Diecast review. And we have actually a little bit of an interesting one. This is of two drivers, one car. I know you've heard a lot of different things with two something and one something, but this time we have two drivers, one car. This is of Stefan Wilson's Indy 500 practice car and Graham Rahal's Indy 500 race car from the 2023 Indy 500. Yes, this one actually was produced. This was produced actually by the Cusick racing team themselves, and you might be able to still get them. These were not actually offered on full release from Greenlight, so you can't go to the trackside store and pick it up, but you can pick it up if you know where to look. Really interesting car because it has definitely an interesting story behind it. You can read the box. You can pause the video and read the box. But if you need a little bit of a refresher on what exactly happened to set up this scenario, we have to go back to 1 year ago this past Sunday at the time of recording. Graham Rahal was bumped from the 107th running of the Indy 500 by his teammate Jack Harvey. All of the Rahal cars were crap last year. Let's just be fair. And that's not being mean, that's being objective. And Graham Rahal was out of a ride. Fast forward to 1 year ago today exactly, and Stefan Wilson was involved in an incident with Catherine Legg in which he injured his back in that crash. And it was announced that in an unprecedented move in the modern era of IndyCar, Graham Rahal would be switching from his Honda-powered Rahal Letterman entry to this Chevy-powered Dryer&Reinbold Cusick entry. So this car is very interesting. It actually is a half and half. So one half of the side is Stefan Wilson, the other half is Graham Rahal, and it's definitely one of those very, very random ones, for sure. Now, hopefully you had a chance to look at the box. I'll show off a little bit. This side has Stefan Wilson's face on it, and then on this side, and this is actually something that's really cool. For the kind of backboard of this car, it has all of the messages written on it for the Get Well Soon stuff banner that they had outside of the garage area. I still yet to find my signature on there. But up top we have Rahal and Wilson, Cusick Motorsports, and just the IndyCar logo, not the NTT IndyCar Series logo. And then this side has Graham Rahal right there. So let's take a look at the diecast itself. And tell you what, it is a good looking car. Very interested to really dive in deeper on this one. This is one that I kind of had to have because you don't really see Dryer&Reinbold cars often. But we're going to review one side, then we're going to review the other because it is not actually the same on both sides. So, looking at the front nose, we have Carekeeper on both main planes, Cusick Motorsports, Deesco, Dallara, NTT IndyCar Series, the Chevy logo, number 24, and Fizzy Bees. And then on the aero screen we have Lola Sport, which was a Stefan Wilson deal. Up on the side pod we have Cusick Motorsports, Menlo Ventures, High Alpha, Right Way Thermal, which I believe is something to do with Thermal Club, probably. And then we have Weston, Holmes, and Provider Science. Up on the flicks, we have Liberty Group, Sierra Pacific, and Cusick Motorsports on both sides. And then at the very back wing, we have Carekeepers. We're going to switch to the driver that actually had the car first. The front wing end plate here is blank. We do have Lola Sport, Westlake Yoga Co., a bunch of other sponsors. Neon orange accenting on the car, which is absolutely beautiful. And then we have Carekeepers on the side pod. And then Chevrolet, whatever that logo is. I've seen it before. I've struggled with it before. So I'm not even going to try. Takumi, NTT P1 Polo Board. And then really big on the engine cover is Sierra Pacific Windows. And then a division of Sierra Pacific Industries. And then we have the Shell 100% renewable fuels. Tucked underneath the aero screen, we have Stefan Wilson, the number 24, and Dryer&Reinbold.com. On the aero screen itself, I mentioned the Lola Sport, Chevrolet, and the NTT IndyCar Series, as well as PPG. On the spine of the engine cover, the little fin, it does have this nice little neon orange strip going down it, and then we have Romac Ironworks, and then we have the Indy 500 Firestone tires. And one thing I will actually point out real quick on the back wing, and this is something I've been a little bit of a pain in the butt about and complain about, is how they don't have the cutoff where the decaling stops or wrapping on the rear wing stops, and this one actually does. So it just has that exposed carbon. Now there's no like carbon detailing or anything, it's just kind of like dipped in black paint, it seems. So we do have that, but it is correct. Obviously on the Speedway Aero Kit. Now we get to the Graham Rahal side. So Sierra Pacific is actually shrunk down and kind of moved back. It does have United Rentals on the car. Everything on the kind of like side pod and flick is the same. Dryer&Reinbold.com, Graham Rahal or G Rahal, and then it does have fifth third bank on the front wing end plate as well. Do a quick little DIN check, and this one's number 8. So getting those low numbers the last couple videos, haven't I? But yeah, that's really kind of the overview of it. I mean, you can see where there's a little bit decal misalignment and over or under wrapping right here, and then like overlay right there where it's like the darker orange. But honestly, I'm not going to complain about it too much because it is an exclusive. It is a car that has a really cool story behind it, and I think it's one of those like little Indy 500 tidbits that won't be forgotten anytime soon, for sure, because it was definitely a very weird experience having Graham Rahal jump into a car that is not owned by his father, and a Chevy engined car at that. Now, Graham's story did not fare too well. It wasn't a Cinderella story where he did extremely well in the 500. He actually started the race 2 laps down because he had to change the battery in the car, which is something you don't see much. And then ultimately he would get taken out in the crash that would trigger the final red flag of the race. So not really a dream end to the story for Graham, but it is a cool car for sure. And it is a car that ran on Carb Day and Indy 500 only. So very, very interesting diecast production. Very glad to have it added to the collection. And yeah, so until the next video, we will see you next time.